So, how many SC towers can you beat in one day? A lot. You can beat a ton of them in one day, actually. And it just so happens that I wanted to do that today. You may be asking yourself, gee, I wonder why this loser wants to beat all these soul-crushing towers in one day. And the reason, my friends, is that I got banned on Roblox for one day on my main account, and I have absolutely nothing better to do. So sit down, grab some popcorn, and watch me play some stupid JTOH towers. I first directed my attention to the easiest soul-crushing towers, like a normal person would. Now, in my opinion, the easiest soul-crushing towers in order are Tower of Difficulty Chart, Tower of Double Trouble, and Tower of Thinning Layers. So off I went into Ring 2, in hopes of conquering the Tower of Difficulty Chart. This was honestly super easy, and I got the whole thing done in less than 30 minutes. I will say that I was struggling with the first 5 floors, but once I stopped rushing, I was a-okay, and I was able to beat it easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Well, that's the first tower we can check off our list. The next tower I went to was the Tower of Double Trouble in Zone 2. Many people consider this to be the easiest soul-crushing tower. Personally, I think TODC is easier overall. This was another easy dub by Mango Kinda Cool. Jeez, I just don't miss, do I? Also, in your face, Yoi. The last tower in this section is Tower of Thinning Layers. This one for sure caused me the most trouble out of the 3 in this section. The actual inside part was a breeze, but the real challenge for me arose at the final stretch. I ended up failing a stupid high jump and had to repeat the whole tower. I guess you can't win all of them. Anyways, a few more tries later and I end up finishing the final stretch and win the— What? I failed the final jump? No worries though, because I was able to make it back up and beat the tower later that run. It took a bit, but that is the Tower of Thinning Layers successfully completed. My next quest today is to beat Thanos Tower. I've beaten this a number of times in the past, so I think it's fair to say I know the ropes of completing it. Floor 1 is rather simple. All you need to do is hit all 3 buttons to unlock the trust to the next floor. Floor 2 has a little neat outside at the beginning. After the outside, you got yourself some average gameplay and a ton of tight ropes. The 3rd floor is notable because you have your first tower crossing. It's pretty neat, I guess. Floor 4 is really short and everything spins, including this wall hop. Floor 5 is also really short and it has a lot of wedges. Floor 6, you have another outside that sucks if you get nervous, but if you don't get nervous, then you alright, just don't fall. Floor 7 is when things start to get spicy and delicious. The whole gimmick with this floor is that there are a ton of tower crossings. You go to TOIE, TOTS, TOR, TOSP, and I think that's all, I don't know. But the point is you're crossing to a bunch of towers. Everything else on the floor seems to be forgettable and not much happens though. Floor 8 is probably the hardest floor of the tower. The gameplay is really tough and there are a ton of kill bricks trying to kill you at all costs throughout this floor. All I have to say is that you are going to have to heal a ton. Floor 9 has a huge timer. If you fail to make it to the end of the floor before the timer runs out, you will not be able to progress onto the last floor. But don't worry, the timer's like 10 minutes long and the floor is like barely 5 minutes anyways. The 10th floor of Thanos Tower is really easy in comparison to the last 3 floors you had to endure. The only jump I would be careful of is this one right before the final jump. And just like that, Thanos Tower is complete. Okay, it's not actually called Tower of Minecraft, but it was originally made in Minecraft before it was built in Studio, so that's why there's so many honey blocks on Tower of Unsettling Heights. Anyways, the first 6 floors are super easy, and the tower doesn't really start until floor 7, so— As you may know, the final 4 floors are over the void. So, pretty much, if you fall, you die. But that shouldn't be a problem, because floor 7 is free until this one speed jump at the end, where you have to jump down to this tiny jump pad. It's pretty bad. As for floor 8, it's pretty forgettable. except for this weird wall thing where you have to time your jumps and stuff. I don't know, man, it's pretty goofy. Floor 9 is where you can really start to feel the stress. The stress strikes deep into your bones, and you can feel it vividly every time you make a move. But do not fret, little one, because with every step you take, you make your way closer and closer to victory. Floor 10 is hella forgettable, I ain't even gonna lie. I only remember falling on that red and blue button thing, and also the final stretch. The final stretch is really cool because it's like COP, but not COP. Well, that's another one to check off today. Okay guys, we're gonna play a game. It goes like this. Like the video if you want me to continue and tell you what the final boss is. And if you don't, you want 5 big black men in your room tonight. Personally, I would like the video. Oh, you did it? Okay, let's move on now. The final boss. My final tower I will beat today is... Are you ready? Okay. It's the Tower of Frightening Nightmares! Mwah! Mwah!
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
Okay, now that we are on floor 6, the tower gets harder. The difficulty cranks up a ton on these final floors, so there is no room for mistakes. I just did these trusses normally, sorta similar to how I would do the trusses on floor 10 of Thanos Tower. Floor 7 is made super easy, with this little lag high jump. Don't tell the JTOH police I know this one. Floor 8 is really, really, really hard though. This is made true for a couple of reasons. For one, there are these terribly tight squeeze wraps, which only the most elite of hobbyists can complete. After that, the next challenge presents itself. Floor 8 outside. This outside is notorious for being really poopy doo-doo fart, and that becomes obvious once you see this tightrope. I mean, what the heck is that? And the rest of the outside should be easy enough. I mean, what's the word? Oh. Okay. If you somehow manage to get past that hell like I did on that run, you will be greeted with floor 9. Floor 9 is pretty easy. It's nothing you really have to worry about. So that was a humongous waste of my time. Now I have to rush to beat Tower of Mindbreaking because I'm not good enough to beat TOFN. Honestly, the first few floors were mad forgettable. I can only recall like half the gameplay. I do remember that floor 2 had this hard spinner thing that you had to time real good. I don't remember which floor it is, but one of them had this low roof section that's pretty neat. One thing that's impossible to forget about in this tower is this really hard jump to get out of this no jump section on the yellow floor. Yeah, that was a doozy, alright. And then blah blah, do some more forgettable jumps, and then you reach floor 10. The first part of floor 10 is in these really tiny sectionals where you do a few jumps. After that, there's this huge spinner on the outside section that can be really funny sometimes, but assuming you don't mess it up somehow, you reach the kill brick dodging part. Here you have to grab a few buttons and then you pretty much won. I mean, there are a few jumps and then this goofy curvy tightrope, but if you manage to pull it off, you have beaten the Tower of Mind Breaking. So, there you have it. I was able to beat 6 SC towers in one day, but I'm sure if I had Ring 9 unlocked, and if I didn't waste as much time trying to beat TOFN, I could do better. Maybe someday in the future I will come back to this challenge, with a better mindset and more experience, and beat like 10 plus SC towers in one day, but who knows. Only time will tell, I guess. But feel free if you want to attempt this yourself, go ahead. You might have some fun while you're at it too. And if you can't beat an SC tower for whatever reason, I believe in you. And one day, if you practice enough, you will beat it. Just trust the process. Anyways, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing.
In my pants, I am for real. Never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants. I shit it in my pants. I am for real. Never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants. I'm gonna go to the